Hello, this is Daryl at 10-Foot Truck, Good Attitude Services. I'm in my car right now because I had to go down to the licensing, Department of Licensing, or driver's license, and renew my license. And I didn't realize it was going to be that expensive. But see, the thing is, I have a commercial driver's license, Class A license. I've had it for years, and I just keep it. I don't really use it that often, or I haven't used it in years. I think the last time I used it when I rented a commercial truck. It was over 26,000 pounds. Because if you do 26,000 under, you don't have to have, at least that's what I believe it was the law. I did go rent a truck that was a bit more weight than that, and I had to use commercial. I had to have the commercial, because Class A covers a Class B, which could be box truck. It was a box truck. I haven't driven a tractor trailer in a long time, but I figured I'd keep it. So it's a little bit more money than your average. It's quite a bit more money than your average driver's license. It's actually 3 times more. So I was kind of like, I don't know if I should do it or not. I don't really drive. I'm not driving big rigs or the bigger box trucks anymore. But then I thought, well, when I had to go get that driver's license, it was I got it for free because through the company. And when I got hired for the company, they had their truck school, so I was able to get the Class A license without having to pay because I was working for them. But if I had to go on, like, say if I decided I wanted to drive a bigger truck for some reason or other, I got an opportunity to do that. If I didn't have it and I had to go into a truck school and to because not all companies are paying for that. It's very expensive. It's thousands of dollars to do that, and then you got to take the test, and it was a very difficult test. It wasn't easy. Now, when I remember back, it was quite difficult to. I don't know what the tests are like now, but you had to do a lot of different things that are beyond like when you're driving a car. You have to. It's more extensive, and the test itself, like the written test, is very extensive compared to like a regular car, regular automobile license, vehicle license, to get your commercial Class A. So I'm like, what the heck, and then it's going to be for 6 more years because they had the option for 6 years or 8 years. I just picked the 6 years. It doesn't really matter. Usually, my last license was 4 years. It used to be 4 years. Now they give you an option for 6 to 8 in Washington State. So, so I did that. I went ahead and got the commercial. Now I do have to, if I do drive, say if I went and drove a commercial truck commercially, for a company, if I decided to do that, or had an opportunity to do that, I would have to bring them a medical card and pay them $20. But I figured, well, that's no big deal. That's not, you just go down and get your medical and all that. I don't know if it was a good decision or not, but I figure might as well, because they may change the laws. Like, a lot of times for commercial licenses, they'll change the laws, and it may be, and what if I decide I want to, implement it or rent a bigger truck or drive a bigger truck that requires that, I wouldn't be able to do that. So it really doesn't seem like it's all that much money when you think of the scheme of it. If I had to go get the commercial license and do all that, it would be quite a bit of money, quite a bit of investment in going back through that whole process, and then just taking that test. I just remember that was a long time ago. I didn't think I was going to pass the first time around, because you had to go through. At least then you had to actually go through certain parts of the truck, not just the driving. You also had to do a serpentine backup with a trailer. You had to do I remember having to do parallel parking with a 48-foot trailer. There was a few other things that were very difficult, and then going around and adjusting your brakes. I don't know if that's part of the testing anymore. Things like that. You had to know certain things about disconnecting the trailer, and certain basic maintenance things or basic things about the truck that really and the driver I do remember it being kind of a challenge, and I didn't think I was going to pass the test, but I did. So I got the license, and I went and drove for a company, and that was it. Once I finished driving that company, I never used it again. Oh, I used it a couple times. I thought I was going to go on and do other trucking jobs. I just never did. I started doing other things with the smaller box trucks that I didn't need a Class B. But yeah, there it is. That's kind of what I'm doing today. And tomorrow I have to do some labor. I just got contacted by a repeat customer to do some firewood, moving some firewood, because it is getting cold. There's a lot of traffic here. It's starting to get cold, so they're needing some firewood. So that should be tomorrow or sometime this week. And it was slow. I had one of my jobs canceled. And unfortunately, I had a couple of jobs that canceled. That set me back a bit. So it hasn't been that busy lately, but that's okay. It's the way it is around this time of year. But at least I got the repeat customers that are contacting me. I've had some customers just recently calling me off of Craigslist. They were really, there's a lot of red flags, and I just the whole thing. One of the customers tried to book a certain day, and I set that aside on the calendar, and I was ready to do the job, and I called them the night before to confirm, and of course I never heard from them. Or they said, yeah, call me back later. I called them back later, and never heard back. I left a message, and then it was like 2 weeks later, I don't know, it was a week later or whatever, that I'd forgotten about the customer because they never got back to me. And I scheduled that day, and I kind of missed out on that day for other jobs. So they contacted me, said, okay, I'm ready. And it was like completely different time. It was like a week later, and that's not the way I work. I just didn't respond because to me it was disrespectful to book a job like that. I agreed to the time, the day, and everything, and have it set up, and then they ghosted me, and then they called me later. It's like I just, at that point, that's a red flag to me. That's not being responsible. That's not being respectful, and so I had to say no on that. And then another lady who I had booked a job for 2 days for this week decided that she could, go and cover it herself. But that, she was nice enough to contact me 24 hours in advance to tell me that she didn't. I think it was at least 24 hours. She contacted me saying she didn't need me to help her out. So that was fine. But when you just ghost me like that, and then all of a sudden call me later, I've had that happen a couple times on Craigslist. I don't know what you guys do out there, if you do a booking, if you do a deposit of some sort, or like a cancellation fee. I don't do that. I've never done that, but so you'll get that every once in a while, where they just they'll cancel on you without just out of the blue, and then you miss that day out because you do have to schedule it in, so you're going to miss that time where you could have booked someone else on that time. So that's the issue with that. But I just don't bother with the cancellation fees. It doesn't happen enough to really worry about it, but when it does happen, it's upsetting to me. And then there was a couple other customers that contacted me. Just seemed a little bit off, I don't know if I've learned over the years certain things, the way certain people communicate, and just things that it's just a red flag. I won't work with them because I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something. Oh yeah, okay. The customer actually was going to book the job, and it was going to be really far away. Like, we're talking a couple hours. Like, it would probably been like a 3-hour situation driving, because it was long. It was going to go pick up some furniture items, but it was way out of town. So I usually don't do that, but I figure, well, I will, for now. But the customer, they book a job, and then they wanted to, they were like, okay, well, meet me here, and I'll just go with you in the truck. And I was like, no, I can't do that. My policy is that I don't allow customers to ride in the truck with me. I'm not a taxi cab service. That's a different service. In certain conditions, the customer has gone with me on the truck, but that was, someone that I'd worked with before, that I trusted, I knew. In that case, it didn't matter. But if I don't know the person and I'm gonna have to go that far and be in the truck with someone I don't know for that long of a distance, I don't know who this person is. I'm not comfortable with that. I don't know how you guys feel about that. Probably most people wouldn't. Most service providers for junk removal or pickup, delivery, and moving, I don't think they will allow the customer to go in the truck. I think there's also liability issues. In fact, I told him it was his liability, that I'm not an Uber. I don't have Uber, or I don't have taxi cab insurance. I just have my cargo insurance. I'm not I know anytime you drive and if you have the insurance would cover that, but I just don't feel comfortable with it. And especially if you don't know the person, you have to be in the truck with them for 2 hours. I just don't get it. Why would do that? I've had that a couple times. I had one guy call me, one customer call me about moving their I don't know, son or whatever, daughter or whatever it was. They needed to move all their stuff to, it was a long distance to a college campus or something. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. It was like a 6-hour, let's see. Yeah, no, it'd been like a 5-hour drive. I think it was that far away. And I was like, okay, if you want to pay. They pay the price, the mileage, all that. That's fine with me. But then they're like, my dad has to ride with you the whole way. And I was like, well, I'm going alone. They're going to have to go meet me down there. I'm driving. I don't drive with other people in the truck. And my customers, I drive just me or a helper or me. Not a customer. So they said, no, you have to have the dad or whatever had to be in the vehicle with me. I don't know, it was for trust issues, but I was like, I had the cargo insurance and all that, so why would you, the cargo's insured, so anyway, I just said, no way, I'm not gonna ride 6 hours in a truck with someone I don't know. I don't feel comfortable with that, so I had to pass on that job. So anyway, that last job they wanted, so the guy said, okay, I'll just find someone else. I was like, yeah, that's fine. I mean, they could, I have a lot of customers that call me who are picking up furniture, and they'll just drive over to the place, meet me there. And I said, here's another thing. I said, here's an option. You could have, I'll go pick it up, the customer will be there, and then I'll drive it, and I'll meet you at your house and drop it off. I don't see why you have to go. I guess maybe it was a trust issue on the fact that I was going to take the item, but that's not the way it works. I'm not going to have someone ride with me in the truck like that, unless it's a helper. Anyway, so that's it for that. That was all this week's drama, or just things I had to deal with. So I got my driver's license back, or my back. I had to redo because my birthday's coming next week, and it's being expired. It's been 4 years. But I was shocked at, everything's so expensive now. I didn't think it was going to be that expensive. Inflation. Insurance is double. Commercial insurance is expensive. Driver's license is expensive. I got to register. I got to get my tabs. That's expensive. So all these things add up. That's why customers don't understand. When they're trying to get a deal, it's like, you got all this overhead as a service provider that they own. They think, well, yeah, I got to register my car and I got to do the driver's license. I got to pay my insurance. But commercial insurance is more expensive than just your regular car insurance. And registering a commercial vehicle is more expensive than your average car. And of course, I don't need a commercial driver's license, but I do have one, and that's more expensive. So when you're operating a vehicle for commerce, it is expensive in the long run. So you have to add that into your costs of your operational costs, and then of course the maintenance on the vehicle and so forth, and all that stuff that a person, you know, doesn't, sometimes they don't think about that, but you as a service provider have to have that in your costs, and taxes too. Taxes are another thing people don't realize, they don't think about. Because I was looking at I was checking out some guy's website, and let's see. Looking at some businesses over here. What was I saying? I was looking at to see what they have, those pallets over there. Yeah, I was looking at a website. A guy had the same. He does the same thing as I do. He does moving and, you know, delivery, and then he does just labor costs, labor charge, or just labor. And I looked at his prices. Like, man, I'm not charging enough, really. I mean, I looked at what he's charging, and I was like, God, I'm not charging enough. I really need to increase my prices with inflation. I really need to start raising the prices. And not out of greed or anything. It's just out of cost of living, cost of their business, operating your business, and cost of living. So it's not like I'm price gouging or anything, because I'm looking at these other people's prices and I'm like, God, I'm really too low. So sometimes it's good to go look at other business service providers in the service you're doing, and look at what they're charging in different areas, and then you can maybe get a better idea of, you know, what you're supposed to charge, or what you should charge. So looks like I'm going to raise my prices, and they're still not expensive, but I got to raise them up, just like everybody else is. And it's not not because I want to. It's just because out of necessity. So it's pretty cool. It's 55 degrees. It's sunny, so it's not really cold, super cold, but it's a fall day. It's nice and cool. I like it. Alrighty, that's about it, I think, for the video, because I'm heading home now. Pulling into the driveway. And I gotta set up for tomorrow's job. Which doesn't require the truck, so I'll just take the car. It's just gonna be loading and stuff, so. Anyway, this is Daryl at 10-Foot Truck, Good Attitude Services, signing out.